It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interview. Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends it, yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on in. It's the Full Court Press. I'm Eric Frandsen. He's Jason Walker. And we'd love to hear from you on the Young Power Sports of Logan text line, 435-339-0321. That's how you can text into the program. Throw a question our way, a comment, an opinion. Try to address it the best that we can in the flow of the topics of the day. But variety of different things on the docket for us here in the next couple of hours here on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, streaming on 1069thefan.com and the 1069 The Fan mobile app. But there's been a lot of discussion about bowl season, teams opting not to participate, other coaches countering saying, yeah, we're disappointed, but we still want to play. We still feel it's important. But what does it mean for the Mountain West? And we talked a lot about Utah State and Washington State squaring off in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl coming up in 2 weeks. But what about other Mountain West schools? Where are they going, and what are their matchups look like? So look at those. More of what's going on with Notre Dame, and their pouting continues. It hasn't slowed down at all. But also getting to some other things with basketball. How are former Aggies doing in the pros? So a lot of different things on the schedule today. And, of course, we always invite you to participate and share your questions and your thoughts, 435-339-0321. And, Jason, let's start off with the bowl season. It's we discussed this yesterday. I think it's the bowl season is dead. They just don't know it yet. But it is still going to happen this year. And 7 Mountain West football teams will be bowling, including the Aggies.
Yeah, none of them said no.
They
to a
all
bowl
accepted
game.
their invitations.
I don't think any of the... Hold on, let's see the standings. I'm trying to think, because there were a bunch of 5 and... Yeah, there were no 5 and 7 teams. So there were 7 or 8 5 and 7 teams that said no to a bowl game. And for half a second, I was wondering, was any Mountain West teams? But no, Air Force and Wyoming were the closest at 4 and 8. And if a 4 and 8 team ever goes bowling, then I think we know it's truly
broken. Yeah, it's truly broken.
We've already had 5 and 7 teams participate in bowl games outside of the craziness that whatever 2020 was. But yeah, we'll have 7 teams. They have all legitimately earned their bowl eligibility. The Aggies are actually the only team with less than 8 wins among those bowl eligible teams, but it is what it is.
Bowl season actually begins this Saturday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So there's the Celebration Bowl, and that's...
a celebration?
Yeah, it is, of historically black colleges. South Carolina State versus Prairie View A&M at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. But then at 8 o'clock, it's Mountain West versus the Big Ten. Boise State taking on Washington in the Bucked Up LA Bowl hosted by Gronk.
That was a very easy to get wrong in a very bad way type of name.
To be very careful to say that right. So, yeah.
Is that the actual? Because I thought like Snoop Dogg and others, or was that the Arizona Bowl?
Oh, that's the Arizona Bowl.
Where it's like the longest name in the history of humanity where Snoop Dogg's name appears like 3 times, or at least twice. Like some of these.
Here we go. That's on December 27th. Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop.
Yeah.
That is the name of their bowl game.
That is just ridiculous. And it's kind of showing where some of these bowl games are becoming ego trips for celebrities. Because we've had Jimmy Kimmel, Rob Gronkowski, Snoop Dogg, and I guess Dre something. I forget who even that is.
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. Okay. See, this tells you how much I know about celebrities. So it's like that's and like Barstool got in on it for half a second. That's the ego trip.
True.
That's the ego trip of another course. That was actually probably at least somewhat business oriented instead of just, oh, I want to, go mess around in a bowl game and do some crazy stuff.
Well, the LA Bowl they've tried to find different celebrities based in LA to be there. I mean, it is kind of a newer bowl, and they've tried to find different celebrity names to attach to it. It seems to be changing year to year. I think this is the second year in a row though for Gronk.
Gronk isn't even from LA, is he?
No, I don't know where. I don't think he's from LA.
Because, I don't know where he grew up, but, he came from Arizona, University of Arizona.
That's true. Yes,
where
he
he
did.
played college ball. Then he goes to the New England Patriots, so the complete other side of the country, and he finished up his career in Tampa Bay. That is the least LA you can possibly be, unless, again, maybe he grew up in California. I should probably look that up before I start, running my mouth. But
so let's do this. This isn't your game show, which I always screw up the name.
Bowl basketball or bogus?
Yeah, we're not necessarily doing that though. We can look at some of the silly names.
We're just gonna say the basic name because let's do this. We got the LA Bowl.
Yes,
that's the first one. So we'll go in chronological order. The LA Bowl with Boise State and Washington. And I've not kept that many tabs on Washington, but I think this, just looking at it on its face, should be, as far as your combination of good teams, plus, I guess relative, these are two 8-4 teams. Well, Boise State, were they 8-4 or 9? No, 9-4. So you have two teams, similar caliber. I think this is, as far as that being as far as them being great teams plus being closely matched. That's the math I was trying to do in my head. Kept getting distracted. The train was leaving the station, but because Utah State, Washington State, that's evenly matched. But so it should be a good game theoretically. But you have, if you're looking for that combination of good to great teams plus relatively evenly matched, because you don't seeing a 9-4 versus a 6-6, because that can cause some problems. But you've got a 9-4 Boise State, Mountain West champion, against a pretty solid Big Ten team. They shouldn't be in the Big Ten, but they are. An 8-4 Washington team. That should provide a solid matchup and should be among one of the best matchups. Although there is another pretty good contender, I think, for the best bowl matchup. Again, as far as that combination of great teams plus evenly matched.
Yeah, I think that I'm really interested in this one. Boise State, they've had an up and down season, but they figure out, even in their down years, they still end up right there, either winning the Mountain West or in contention to win the Mountain West. It's just the program that they are. They've had one of the longest streaks of going to bowls than anybody. Only Georgia has a longer consecutive streak of going to bowl games than Boise State. And they represent the Mountain West, but they also represent the future Pac-12, going up against a former Pac-12 team. So that's why there's additional layers of intrigue on December 13th at 6 o'clock on ABC. So that's the first of the bowls for Mountain West schools. The next will be Utah State when they take on Washington State. Two 6-6 teams. Both teams have had some ups and downs themselves. Washington State lost their head coach, so they've got an interim situation. Currently, ESPN Matchup Predictor has Washington State as a slight favorite, 56% to Utah State's 44%. But they're only predicting the Cougars are only 1.5-point favorites. They're at Albertson Stadium in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, December 22nd at noon on ESPN.
Yeah, and so this isn't going to be your sexiest matchup out of the Mountain West Bowl games, but I think it will be one of the more competitive. I mean, pretty much all these should be competitive. They seem like solid matchups, but these are this should be a good game. And it may end up being one of the most attended games, I think, where some of these others may struggle for attendance, where, Boise's not that close to LA, neither's Washington. You got UNLV in Ohio going to Texas. In the Hawaii Bowl, by principle of Hawaii being in it, maybe.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a game that I think is going to be one of the most well attended. and should be a really solid game. But although the biggest thing going against it for attendance is the fact that it's a Monday noon kickoff.
Yeah, but as we talked about the other day, this could be make a long weekend of this. Make your trek up on Sunday, or if you want to be part of the bowl festivities, go up on Saturday morning.
Yeah, just be like
they'll have different activities going on. Get a sense for the community and other things that are happening. They'll have some alumni events that will be taking place, and enjoy the atmosphere. Stick around, and then Monday, go watch the game. When it's over, head home. You'll be back in the office or back in school on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, it's something that I think they can make work. If we're on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, a noon kickoff would probably be a death knell to attendance. But yeah, that's something that I think hopefully a lot of people can make work.
The very next day, another Mountain West school in action, 10-3 UNLV versus 8-4 Ohio in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, December 23rd, 7 p.m. on ESPN. So this is one where UNLV, they got to 10 wins. Ohio, I really couldn't tell you very much about Ohio right now. But UNLV is a team that's been playing some pretty good football. A lot of people are still eyeing that squad and that coaching staff. They've whatever we want to say about UNLV and being a kind of a fake 10-win team, they're still a 10-win team. They still found ways to win games, even though they kind of squeaked by in a lot of those. They still found ways to win. Ohio 8-4. I couldn't tell you very much about their season, but this is more about, UNLV is going to be the flag bearer of the Mountain West moving forward. So how well do they represent the future of the Mountain West?
Yeah, so that's a lot for them. And just by the fact that it's UNLV, this game may end up being close. One thing to look at with Ohio is they have, I think, like the 8th or 9th. It's 128th out of 136. So that's either the 8th or 9th easiest strength of schedule, according to Sports Reference's calculation of that. Because that's just what I'm referencing really quick here. So, and that's what they got to 8-4 against. Is one of the easiest schedules in FBS. Of course, UNLV is not exactly a powerhouse in strength of schedule either. They're 114th. Like, it's not like they've been spectacular. But, UNLV should be the much better team on paper, I would think. They have a really good offense that I don't know if Ohio is going to be able to handle. They don't have a bad defense by any metrics, but I think it's something that it's going to be something that Ohio will probably struggle against. But as I said at the very beginning, UNLV might just make this close because that's what UNLV has done in every one of their games.
That's what they do.
Good team, bad team, horrible team. They make it close against everybody. So I'm not going to predict UNLV to blow out anybody because I don't know if they've really done it all year. They blew out Nevada and Hawaii. That's basically the only time they've really truly blown out anybody.
And for Ohio, this is a team that lost. They only have 4 losses on the year, but 2 of those came within their first 3 games, and those were against power teams. They lost at Rutgers, close, but they lost 34-31. Then they get blown out at Ohio State. They did beat West Virginia. This was early in the season but West Virginia turned out to be kind of a weird up and down year for them.
Yeah, they went 4-8. So,
so they lose 2 of their first 3, but then it's the very soft schedule after that, and they go through the MAC with a 6-2 schedule overall. Only losses at Ball State and at Western Michigan, and both of those were within a single possession or single score. So. Yeah, Bobcats are a tough team as far as games that they've participated in and like close ones and some of their losses, but not really playing tough competition.
Yeah, and as I said, UNLV should be better on paper. They should be winning this game, and if they play well, I think they'll probably win it fairly comfortably. But yeah, so that's like what I'd like to predict. Like say, hey, look, this is one of the best Mountain West teams going up against a team from the MAC. If you're Again, you went to the Mountain West Championship game. UNLV should be blowing out any team from the MAC. That's just how it is because the MAC's not that good of a conference. But anything can happen, I guess, in some of these bowl games. And just with UNLV.
Yeah, because that's UNLV. It's how they roll. On Christmas Eve, it's the Hawaii Bowl, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii Rainbow Warriors hosting the Cal Golden Bears. Hawaii finished 8-4, far better than most people thought they would. Hawaii had a great season by the standards that we were putting on them and expectations we put on them before the season began. Far exceeded a lot of those expectations. Cal had high expectations themselves. Then they kind of slowed down and kind of limped into the postseason. But this is there's a lot of real interest in here because Nick Rolovich was the former Hawaii coach. He is the interim coach at Cal. Also, Cal's quarterback, Saga Polutele, I think if I said his last name right, really dynamic quarterback. He is a native Hawaiian going back to the islands to take on Hawaii. So that one I think is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know how many are going to be tuning in and watching it because it's on Christmas Eve with all your other Christmas Eve plans. But
are there any other
having
sports?
it on in the background, there aren't very many other sporting events taking place that night. So it may get some views.
I just feel bad for everyone who has to work that day because like all the players and coaches are going to get to have their families with them. But like, the ticket office and all those other people with concessions got to work on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. But, Cal, they won 4 of their first 5 games, but then they struggled to close out the season.
The one they didn't win was when they got wrecked by San Diego State. Because they lost 34-0. But as you said, maybe that was kind of the herald of not doing so well the rest of the way. Because, they lost a bunch of other games, though, to good teams. Yeah,
they finished after that, they finished the season 3-4. But, they played an interesting schedule. They
play in the ACC.
In the ACC and have to travel and do a lot of weird stuff. But, they were competitive in a lot of their games. With the loss at Stanford, Stanford's not a good football team.
Yeah,
that one really stands out as a weird one.
Yeah,
but then they turn around and beat SMU the next week.
Yeah, they beat SMU. They beat at the time, I don't know where Louisville's ranked right now, but they were at the time 14th. They probably dropped out of the rankings or close to it. Lost only by 10 to Virginia, who was ranked 17th in the college football playoff rankings before losing in the ACC title game. They did get kind of walloped by Duke, who ended up being the ACC champion, but they were close against a lot of good teams. So really, it's just a story of inconsistency. Seems to be the problem with Cal, because you have a team that is going toe-to-toe and beating ranked teams, and also a team that is just losing and being non-competitive against other good teams like Duke or San Diego State. So it's just kind of weird with Cal.
Yeah. But the coaching situation will be intriguing. The quarterback situation will be intriguing. Hawaii, for what they've done, Micah Alejado, great wide receivers. Of course, it's got the Tokyo Toe. So there's a lot of interesting storylines in this one. And this could be one of the more intriguing matchups for Mountain West teams involved in the bowl season.
Yeah, I think as we keep going through there's just a lot of really solid matchups, I think.
The next one on the schedule would be if I have this correct, the Rate Bowl.
Yeah, it's New Mexico
and Minnesota. And this is a New Mexico team it's a special season for the Lobos. And can they keep it rolling through the bowl season against Minnesota, who's 7-5? New Mexico finished the year at 9-3.
Yeah, I think, for that reason, this is one where sometimes you'll see a G5 team with more wins playing a 7-5 or 6-6 team out of one of the power conferences, and sometimes those can still be relatively even matchups. But I like this one for New Mexico. You see teams when they have these magical seasons, a lot of times you'll have them going up against these mediocre, slightly above average, power conference teams, and they go on in and whoop them. Because New Mexico is going to be playing motivated. This is their season. It's a team of underdogs, one that they felt like they should have been in the Mountain West Championship, and I think they're going to be playing with fire rather than playing with kind of a lower attitude, the Notre Dame attitude we might call it, of being mad that they're not where they should be, so they just take their ball and go home. New Mexico's going to come out and play well. And so I really like New Mexico to go out there and beat a Minnesota team who's okay.
Yeah, they lost 3 of their last 5 games. Minnesota did. Whereas New Mexico went on a streak, and they've been one of the hottest teams in college football.
Yeah, so I like New Mexico to be able to control this game against Minnesota. Maybe if you're looking for candidates for blowouts, but there's not going to be too many, I think, blowouts among these Mountain West related bowl games, but this might be one and probably in favor of the Lobos.
So again, that'll be on December 26th at 2:30 on ESPN. The next one, your favorite named titled bowl. I'm not going to give all of it. It's the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Give it another run, Eric. You've been saying the full sponsors of all of them. You've made your bed. Now lie in it.
Yes, the Snoop Dogg. Here, I got to find it again. Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. So a bowl game that's sponsored by alcohol and
I'm going to stick with my water.
hip-hop artists.
Well, it's just an alcohol or gin or whatever made by
Presented
celebrities
by them. Yeah.
because they have to come up with some merchandising.
But that's December 27th, 2:30 on the CW network. This is one of those that's not owned by ESPN. But that's Fresno State and Miami of Ohio. Fresno State 8-4, Miami of Ohio 7-6. Fresno State, they had a weird end of their year. They made a quarterback change. They thought it worked, and then it didn't. And then they changed the quarterback again. So kind of an odd year for Fresno. But when you step back and overall take a view of the Bulldogs, I think Fresno fans should be pleased with the season that they had overall. And Matt Ent's first year, I know there was some debate as to who should be the quarterback and how they should move forward there. But defensively, very stout. And going to make life difficult for Miami in this matchup. Fresno should be the favored team. This is one that Fresno should be able to get the victory for the Mountain West.
Yeah, and so this is a Miami of Ohio team that did manage to push UNLV. But like, as you're saying, Fresno State, with really the exception of Utah State, finished the season well. You got a win over Boise State, the eventual Mountain West championship. You got a solid win over Wyoming, held them to 3 points. You held Boise to 7 points. There, obviously, that Utah State game kind of a disaster for them in some ways, where based on who they were, trying to be and their expectations, they should have won that game. But they didn't. Utah State played well, and they beat Fresno State. But then, Fresno State goes out and just wallops San Jose on the road. So if you're looking at the last 4 weeks or so, Fresno's or their last 4 games, they've been playing well with one minor hiccup there against a bowl-eligible team in Utah State. And they have 2, solid road performances, Boise and San Jose. So Fresno is generally playing well right now. And so as long as they keep that up, they're going to go out and pull a win against another, again, it's a MAC team. For the Mountain West, if they want to pretend that they're one of the top teams, and heck, for Fresno State, be a Pac-12 caliber team, you got to be going out there and beating some MAC teams.
Yeah. Most of these games so far have really close predicted spread, margin of victory. The only one that doesn't appear to be that close is Boise State and Washington. Washington favored by 9.5. Sheesh. All these other bowls that we've been talking about, 2.5, 3.5, even 1.5. So most of these bowls with Mountain West teams expected to be pretty close, except perhaps the LA Bowl. But let's finish it off. Well, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, December 27th, 2:30 on the CW. And then the Mountain West kind of concludes its bowl game season later that afternoon with the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl, number 25, North Texas versus San Diego State. And North Texas was close to being in the discussion of getting into the college football playoff. They're a top 25 team. They've had a great season. They're losing their head coach because he's been pulled away up to a bigger opportunity.
Well, he got his team just about to the playoffs, and that equals going to a bigger team.
Yeah, but San Diego State, they're going to lose their defensive coordinator. He's going... Where is he headed? Nebraska?
I forget.
Something like that. Anyway, but still, this is an opportunity for San Diego to get a solid win against a good opponent. North Texas has had a magical year. San Diego State's had a better year than a lot of people expected. North Texas is favored by 3.5 in this matchup.
Well, I'll tell you, last time North Texas went to the New Mexico Bowl and faced a Mountain West team, it didn't go particularly well for them.
No, it did not.
For those of you who don't remember, that was 2018 New Mexico Bowl, and they faced the Aggies and lost that one by quite a bit. And that was also a really good year, probably their last really good season up until then. They went 9-4. And then they had 4, 5, sometimes 6-win seasons. They're back to 11 wins this year. And yeah, they were 1 win away from being in the playoff. They didn't won that American Conference Championship game. They're in the playoff instead of Tulane. But we'll see. Obviously, because Eric Morris is still coaching, isn't he?
I believe he is
coaching
sticking
the bowl
with
game.
the team through the bowl game, and then he'll make the move.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that he'll be doing that. So at the very least, they'll have the structure. Who knows how that'll affect everyone in terms of mentality and effort. Oh, is he not?
No, I just saw this earlier today. They announced Drew Svoboda will be the interim coach for the bowl game.
To Evan?
I don't know.
So I guess not. So I guess that's how that is. Of course, so,
Eric Morris was formally introduced as the new coach at Oklahoma State yesterday.
Fight a nickel for every time New Mexico or North Texas faced a team in the New Mexico Bowl where one of the coaches was missing their head. One of the teams was missing their head coach because they're going to coach a Big 12 team. I'd only have 2 nickels. But it's weird that it's happened twice.
Yeah, he originally said he would stick with the team through the bowl season, but since they're not going to the college football playoff, they say, all right, well,
it was probably very much we'll do it for the playoff, not for bowl season.
Yes. So, yeah, he was introduced yesterday.
Yeah. All right, so that's our quick bowl summary. All of 30 minutes just about to do that, so we're pretty overdue for a break.
Yeah, a little overdue, but that's what your Mountain West Football Bowl viewing guide looks like. Starts this weekend, goes through December 27th, involving Mountain West teams. Quick timeout. We'll be right back here on the Full Court Press Course. If you want to weigh in, any of those that seem more interesting than others, let us know. Which of those Mountain West games will you be tuning into, whether for cheering for support of a Mountain West school or future Pac-12 school, or cheering against a Mountain West school, hoping to see them lose, because that's still definitely a thing as well. 435-339-0321.
Across our valley, families and friends are gathering, sharing meals, stories, and long-held traditions this holiday season. I'm Lance Zollinger, president at Cache Valley Bank. For generations, you've trusted us to be part of your financial journey, and we're honored to be your hometown bank. This season, we wish you joy, safety, and meaningful moments with the people you love. You deserve it. Happy holidays from Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
When the snow starts flying, be sure your tires are ready. At Express Tire, they work with all vehicles and all tire sizes with safety and comfort a priority. As a Point S Tire team member, you're backed by a nationwide warranty that includes roadside protection. No appointment needed. Just stop in and they'll get your tires winter ready. 3200 North Main.
Express Tire. Tires for less.
Express Auto, where tires and service come together.
Need a great deal near USU? Mention Aggie 79 and score a room at the Bomb Hotel for just $79. Enjoy charming, homey hospitality in downtown Logan. You'll love the clean, spacious rooms and friendly, attentive staff. Take advantage of free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and a seasonal outdoor pool. At that price, it can't be beat. $79 rooms with Aggie 79 at the Bomb Hotel. Value every day of the week. Call 435-752-5220. That's 752-5220.
It's back. Jarek's Fine Jewelry in Logan is having our annual Pick a Pearl event. If you've attended this in the past, you know how much fun we have. And if you haven't come before, you don't want to miss this exciting event. Still, only $10. Pick your oyster, open it that day, or save it for that stocking stuffer surprise.
Mark your calendar, Friday and Saturday, December 12th and 13th.
Pick a Pearl at Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Look for the bright green cars.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special. Make it Jarek's.
Winter's here, and that old car sitting in your driveway isn't getting any warmer. Turn that frozen junker into cold, hard cash with DD Auto and Salvage in Logan. It's never too cold, too wet, or too late to clean up and cash out. DD Auto and Salvage makes it quick and easy. They'll even pick it up for you. Get the most money possible for your junk vehicle or scrap metal, and earn a little extra holiday cash while you're at it. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204. And let DD Auto and Salvage pay you today. DD Auto and Salvage. Cold cars turned into hot cash.
Northern Utah and Southern Idaho's home for sports. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Young Power Sports offers free pickup and drop-off for service, plus free preseason checks on all snowmobiles just off South Main in Logan. Young Power Sports Logan, where your winter adventure begins. We've been talking about the bowl season for the Mountain West, and future Pac-12 schools. I guess we should mention Texas State is also involved in a bowl game. Forgot which one it was. I looked at it, and then I scrolled past.
Sorry, I was reading the text line, so I didn't even pay attention to what you were saying.
Texas State is going to face Rice in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl on January 2nd.
I always love the military-industrial complex sponsoring bowl season.
Why not?
That's just pure America right there.
And of course, Washington State, they're facing Utah State, Oregon State, not bowling.
Yeah.
They had a really rough year.
Looking at the text line 5980, we touched on this topic. We were talking about Rob Gronkowski, and you're saying like with the LA Bowl, they're trying to find LA celebrities, and I was noting Gronk's path from University of Arizona to New England to Tampa. It's like nowhere even close to LA. Didn't know where he was from originally. In 5980, providing the helpful tidbit saying Gronk is from New York, according to Google. And I double checked that. It was like Amherst, New York, or something like that.
Oh. Okay.
So, and then I realized that I'm not that too off from Robin in age. About 5 years or so, but still.
5338. Hey, Coach, sorry about turning him over the ball in that last play. Let's run it again so I can get it right. Signed, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that was interesting. And tell you what, Jalen Hurts is one of the few players in NFL history to turn the ball over twice on the same play. Like, did you see the clip of that?
No, I've heard about it, but I need to see it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about it.
It wasn't like that absurd, but it was just like, threw a pick, and then hearing the referee like explaining the play. The ruling on the field is an interception by the defense, fumbled by the defense, recovered by the offense, and then fumbled by the offense and recovered by the defense. It's like, holy cow, you need to write that down. But he got it straight. I was like, holy cow.
One of those string maps.
Yeah, basically, it's like, hold on. And trying to keep the two teams straight. It's like intercepted by the defense, and then suddenly the return team fumbled it, and then the new return team, and it's like,
who's on offense and who's on defense here?
Luckily he just kept it consistent with it's the offense and the defense, because it could have gotten confusing real quick there.
8968 texting in. I don't know many details, but I understand that a private company has bought the rights to Ute Athletics for $50 million. I think it's more than that, my friend. Do you know anything about that? I don't know, but wouldn't that be NIL from hell?
So we'll probably jump into this later, and it's been a hot topic, at least on my social media feed. I don't know how much national attention it's been getting on radio today. But to fully flesh out those details, it was a private equity company, and I forget what the name of what was it again? Like
it's Otro Capital.
Yeah, Otro Capital,
based in New York.
Yeah, they're basically committing like $500 million to Utah. I don't know the exact details and all that, but like Utah is also building out a business entity, essentially, that will
Utah Brands and Entertainment LLC.
Yeah,
so for-profit entity.
Yeah, so no longer part of the non-profit university aspect, and then so they're going to have this private equity firm plus some of their donors basically take ownership stakes in this new, again, business entity for Utah Athletics, and it's a complicated mess that I'm not qualified to break down, but it's the kind of the first true foray finalized seemingly foray of private equity into college sports. It's been talked about. There's the whole thing with the Big Ten, some Big 12 teams, either the conference or just some of the teams were thinking about having private equity.
Some sovereign wealth funds been flirting with college athletics.
Basically, a lot of people who are trying to get in it for, because the thing is that the whole thing with sports, and a big thing people don't realize is that it has basically become one of the most sought after investment opportunities. Not that I know a ton about investing, but there are a ton of people who are trying to get into ownership. And that's one thing when you see a lot of athletes investing in ownership, a lot of them are turning to things like the WNBA and NWSL. And a lot of times it's billed as, they're trying to support women's sports. No, it's an investment opportunity.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get into those professional sports than it is for them to get into professional basketball or the NFL, which is nearly impossible unless you have really deep pockets.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of people trying desperately to get into investing and being part of ownership of sports teams. So that's why you're seeing people trying to get into the NWSL, the WNBA, NASCAR with their charter system. You have like Michael Jordan, who's who owns a charter, which is essentially like a franchise, roughly equivalent there. Of course, there's a whole mess going on with NASCAR right now.
Suing them right now.
Yeah, he is. Michael Jordan suing NASCAR, and most people don't even know that's happening right now. But like college sports is this new frontier of invest in sports because sports are a money printing machine. It's why it's so popular as an investment, because it just prints money. Like there is no losing money being part of ownership of a sports franchise.
Well, it's because we'll get into this more next hour, but yeah, it's a very fractured media landscape, an investing landscape, but finding things that consistently still draw crowds and still draw eyeballs is where a lot of money is really flowing, because you can literally bank on it.
Yeah. And so pro sports are obviously very healthy. College sports is a whole different thing, but like since a lot of the bigger like NFL, NBA, you're not really getting on that unless some owner does something incredibly stupid and gets forced to sell their team, or maybe an owner just they can't deal with it anymore. There's some reasons why they sell, but there's not a whole. It's really hard to get the big ticket money, MLB, NBA, NHL, NFL. So they're going to college sports. And so that's where private equity is super hyped about trying to, and I shouldn't talk like I'm an authority, but that's just generally like you're seeing college sports being used as an investment vehicle. And I'll say right now, it's not a good idea for college sports.
Yeah, I've got some serious reservations about that as well.
Yeah,
but we'll get into that more next hour. So hang with us as we get into that.
You want to talk about the doom of college sports? Wow, you just went quiet after I said that.
I was like, well,
did I kill it?
It's been going for a while, but this may be the final death knell. 9315 texting in with another topic here. How many Pac teams went bowling and how many Mountain West teams went bowling, including the new members of the Mountain West? So let's see. So I don't know about future Mountain West teams.
So for the future Mountain West,
Northern Illinois.
Yeah, Northern Illinois.
Are they bowling?
Let me double check them. Northern Illinois went 3-9 this year.
And so UTEP is not.
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
I can tell you right now they didn't. I don't even know the record, but I can tell you right now they're not going bowling. 2-10. So no.
So Mountain West schools going bowling. You have UNLV and Hawaii and New Mexico, and I think that's it, right? Because for a future Pac-12, you have San Diego State, Utah State, Texas State, Fresno State, Boise State. Who am I missing?
So you have San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, Utah State, Texas State, Washington State. And Oregon State didn't.
Right. So
you
that's
have 6. Did I get 6?
I had 5. I got to go back through it.
You said Texas State, right? because you have four currently in, like the four current Mountain West teams that are all leaving. Oh, excuse me, 4 of the 5. San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, Utah State. That's 4.
Right.
Plus Washington State.
Oh,
and
right.
Texas State.
Yes, I wasn't counting Washington State earlier in my list. So
6-3.
6-3.
We can do math on air.
Yeah, just give us some time.
Give us some time. We had
scribbles.
We had my fingers, and you're doing tally marks over there. Between that, we were able to finally work it out.
So it's pretty clear. Teams headed to the Pac-12; those are the better programs, and historically, that's been the case as well.
Yeah. So,
let's see, 5338. Who are you calling old? Signed Philip Rivers. P.S. Can you pass the Ben Gay? 5338 is definitely on an NFL kick today.
What's the Ben Gay?
Because it's for old people. You apply it to your sore muscles.
Cream or something like that, or ointment.
So let's go take a time out.
I guess that's how I know I'm not old. I didn't know what old was.
Quick time out here on the Full Court Press. This is the shift from Notre Dame whining and declining their bowl game. The discussion has now shifted to why are G5 or G6 teams even involved in the college football playoff? That's been the tone today. We'll discuss that, who's going, and why it should continue. Discussing next on the Full Court Press.
Happy holidays from the entire team at Adams Wealth Advisors. As we celebrate the joy of this season, it's also time to plan for a financially sound future. Wondering about tax strategies or required investment distributions? Adams Wealth Advisors has the answers. The Adams Wealth team is here to guide you through any complexities and ensure a prosperous new year. Happy holidays from Adams Wealth Advisors, where achieving your financial goals is their mission. Call today to schedule an appointment, 752-1702, or search Adams Wealth Advisors online.
The Serenoni in-store only holiday sale is here, December 8th through the 22nd. Hi, I'm Emily, and our everyday prices are already lower than other luxury blanket brands. And this year, even Santa would call these deals extra nice. Save anywhere from 25 to 40% off select blankets and more, and give the gift that will be used every single day. And if Santa's list is looking a little long, we're your one-stop shop for last-minute Christmas magic. Come shop our store on 10th West. Serenoni, wrapped in comfort, gifted with love.
It's cold outside, but you can keep warm inside with a quality-built, super-efficient York furnace. Count on a furnace from York because it's backed by the strongest warranties available. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, at 752-7272. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs.
Les Olson IT.
The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. The college football bowl season gets underway on Saturday. 6 future Pac-12 teams involved in the bowl season. 3 future Mountain West teams involved. And Boise State gets it started in the LA Bowl on Saturday. But we've got some multiple group of 6 bowl teams represented in the college football playoff, since for ACC was all messed up in how they get teams, involve teams in their title games. And Duke pulling off the upset, it opened the door for a second G6 program to get in. And now you have James Madison and Tulane in the college football playoff. And now today, the narrative has shifted away from whining and complaining about Notre Dame, or should they be whining and complaining. It's now whining and complaining about, wow, these schools are taking up spots. Well, look, the rules are simple, and they played by the rules that everybody voted on and agreed to, including those in the biggest power of what college football exists. So why are we whining and complaining about schools that are just playing by the rules? They're doing what you agreed to put forth out there.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to see how, when introducing the playoff, you had the 4-team playoff, and that was supposed to, that way it's not just 2, because there were teams that were getting left out of the BCS title game. People were mad about that. Then you went to 4, and then the people at 5 and 6 were mad about not getting into the 4. And now we're at 12, and there are people who are mad about getting left out of 12. Like BYU, a team that got their head kicked in twice by a top 5 team, a team that's going to be in the national title hunt, is like, well, we should be in because other teams kept getting blown out. And, you had the official BYU account going on an absolute bender on social media, all these, tweeting like they're some diehard donor or whatnot. But I'll tell you what, for BYU being upset, and perhaps justifiably upset, I'm not saying they're unjustified and like they feel like they should be in, Notre Dame's crash out, like, my goodness, like they're having their AD on, national radio and in a press conference whining their heads off. But yeah, to look at the G5 thing, or G6, or whatever we're supposed to call it these days. It's just annoying to see people always finding something to complain about with the playoff. And it's just never an intelligent complaint or solution. Well, sometimes it's an intelligent complaint, but there's never an intelligent solution, at least from like ESPN. You get average college football fans that come up with fantastic solutions, but suddenly you get these talking heads who come up with things like, oh, we should just get rid of the G5 teams in the playoffs. And it's like, moron, like, seriously.
Right, because the reason that they're out there waving this flag like it won't be interesting football. They're going to have all these blowouts. Well, there's blowouts all over in the college football playoff. It doesn't just happen in the first round. And these are teams who got there by the merits of the season that they had, based on the rules everybody else is playing by. So why are they going to be punished just because they may not have the same name recognition as some of these other football teams?
Yeah,
and how did these other football teams get their name recognitions to begin with?
Yeah, by having a bunch of money. Well, really, that's the big thing.
And because they had these opportunities, the opportunities were presented to them. And somebody was going out there, this is DEI for college athletics.
Yeah, well, anybody who says DEI unironically is kind of an idiot these days. But you look at these people who are whining about the G5 inclusion. They're the same ones who are saying that the regular season should matter, in that conference championships should matter. Like, they are the Venn diagram of people that are whining about the G5 inclusion. And, also the people who were 4 or 5 years ago saying that conference championships in the regular season should matter. It's just one dadgum circle.
Like, whatever the argument is most convenient for them at the time.
Yeah, they said, regular season and conference championships should matter. So a playoff system was built that prioritized how you do in the regular season, and in particular, do you win your conference championship? And suddenly, when results play out that a conference championship was prioritized over how a bunch of executives decided to rank these teams, like, suddenly they're mad. And it's like, okay, we did what you wanted, and now you don't like it because it didn't play out exactly as you thought it would?
Right. Last year, they created a system that they thought would favor the powers that be. But here comes Boise State, disrupts the system. They end up getting a first-round bye. Yeah. Well, we can't have that again.
Yeah, so immediately change it.
We'll adjust it. And then what this year? Now we have 2 G5 teams involved in the playoffs. Oh, we need to adjust it again. We can't have that happen anymore. It's like they keep trying to move the goalposts, and it's silly and it's maddening. So I'm a fan of James Madison. I am a fan of Tulane. Will James Madison beat Oregon? Probably not.
I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, JD. I am a huge James Madison fan, and I hope they kick Oregon's butt. I'm sorry, JD, but I'm
JD Walker. If you're listening,
I am rooting.
We
so
will be
hard.
rooting against the Ducks.
I am rooting so hard for Oregon to get its can kicked.
Tulane may have a better chance. Ole Miss has uncertainty with their coaching staff and in their roster.
The problem is if Tulane wins, then they'll just write it off as Ole Miss not having a coach.
Well, of course. So Ole Miss is in disarray.
And that's why I just really want 2 G5 teams to advance from the first round just to, again, there's words I want to say that I'm not sure I'm allowed to say on radio. So I just hope they rain on their parade.
Well, disruptors. We like that.
We got to take another break, though.
Yes. So it's maddening. Listening to all of this.
It's madness.
Yes. And we'd like to hear from you as well. 435-339-0321 on the Full Court Press.
For the men and women who feed America and never ask for applause, West Motor Company salutes you. Thank you for raising the food that fills our tables, for your grit, your hard work. West Motor Company is proud to sell Ram and Ford trucks to help you do your job. So right now, farmers and ranchers can take an additional $500 off our lowest price. That's an extra $500 off every rebate, discount, and offer we can find. West Motor Company, 80 years strong and still driven to serve you.
Addiction does not discriminate. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, you're not alone. There is hope out there. Renaissance Ranch has been teaming up to provide a place for healing. They understand themselves how powerful it is to overcome addiction. If you've lost hope or if you're scared for someone you love, there is a way back. Renaissance Ranch is there to help you out. You can learn more by going to renaissanceranch.net or visiting their location right here in Logan.
Looking for a luxurious local space to host your next gathering? The Hive Event Center in downtown Logan brings modern elegance to your wedding, private party, or business event. Your guests will be amazed at the glamorous design, and you'll benefit from the advanced tech included in every rental, from DIY parties to full-service packages. 255 South Main in Logan behind Beehive Grill. Luxury lives here. The Hive is your place to gather.
Luxury lives here. Luxury lives here. The Hive.
See us online at thehivelogan.com.
Since 1896, S.E. Needham Jewelers has been selling diamonds in historic downtown Logan. Today, you have a choice of both natural and lab-grown diamonds. You'll be impressed with the affordability of our diamonds today. With our international suppliers from Israel, India, and Antwerp, Belgium, we're able to guarantee the best price. Simply magnify our diamonds, select your favorite, and have it mounted in a ring of your choice. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Get Napa Legend or Napa AAA batteries for your vehicle. And if you need help installing it, they can test it to make sure if it needs to be replaced. And if it does, they can help install it right there on the spot. Find more details at any of the locally owned Preston or Providence Napa Auto Parts stores. So we normally do this on Monday, but we're going to push it to today.
You pushed it to today.
Yeah, because we didn't do Pick 6 results yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't have the Pick 6 results. We did it last Thursday. So let's get to those results, starting with the lines that I set of our 6 lines plus the PAT, I guess. Total steals in the Utah State-South Florida game. I set the line at 20.5. Both teams averaged north of 10 heading into that game. You took the over. I took the under. There were only 15 steals. Both teams did a pretty good job scouting the other team and not allowing a whole lot of turnovers. Yeah. So I got that under there. You had the over, so I'm up 1-0 on that one. Then wins by teams that wear blue in the conference championship weekend. I said the over under at 1.5. So Boise State, BYU, and Duke. We both took the under on 1.5, and well, Boise State and Duke both won their conference championship games. So we both miss on that one. Combined wins by the Mammoth and Jazz from Thursday to Sunday. There were 5 games. I set the line at 1.5. You took the over, wanted to be optimistic. I took the under, and, well, they won 2 games combined.
One each.
Yeah, 1 each. Mammoth got 1, and the Jazz got 1. So you took the over, I took the under, so we're tied 1-1 going to the lines you set. You said, who would have more team rushing yards, UNLV or Boise State in the Mountain West title game? I took UNLV. You took Boise State. And UNLV, though they lost, had more rushing yards, 184 to the 172 for Boise State. So I'm up 2-1 there. Then you had Neemias Queta combined points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks against the Lakers. You set the line at 19.5. I took the under. You took the over. He had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, which is 20 total. So you barely got the over there. So it's tied 2-2 going into the final line. Jordan Love, total yards, passing and rushing against the Bears on Sunday. Over under 255.5. And Eric, he had 234 passing yards and -1 rushing yards.
Oh.
So
we went in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you had the over. I had the under there, so I win that one 3-2.
That was close.
I also won the tiebreaker. So, yeah, that was a pretty close one.
Down to the wire in pick 6. All right, so it's a recap of what happened over the weekend. We'll do it again on Thursday, predict what will take place for this upcoming weekend. But stick around, a lot more to get into next hour. We got a few more texts that actually came in that we haven't addressed, so hang on, we'll get to those. More talk about the bowl season and a variety of other things we wanted to get into. High school sports, basketball, big weekend week for high school hoops. And what about the Utes doing this private equity?
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Eagles might have one of the most talented rosters in football, but like every team in the NFL, they will only go as far as their quarterback can take them. Last season, Jalen Hurts looked like a star when the lights were the brightest. He played with command, accuracy, and a calm edge that helped carry Philly to a title. This year, that version of Hurts has been tough to find. Last night's loss to the Chargers, the latest reminder. He completed barely half of his throws and tossed 4 interceptions, lost a fumble in a game the Eagles mustered just 19 points. With the roster this deep, the game still pushed into overtime against the dangerous Chargers. The bigger picture is hard to ignore. When your quarterback is this inconsistent, it puts every margin under a microscope. The pieces around Hurts are still good enough to make a run, but once January arrives, the competition too strong and the windows get too tight. If this level of play carries on, the climb to a repeat becomes a very, very steep one. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.